Welcome back, Defenders. Jake here. Today's video is going to feel really good. Russian submarine and landing ship struck in an attack on Sevastopol. Russia says cruise missiles and drone boats were used in the overnight attack that left the Black Sea Fleet port in occupied Crimea ablaze. A very good result. Ukraine confirms attack on Russian Black Sea Fleet, says a ship and a submarine were damaged. A source in Ukraine's military intelligence told the Kyiv Post the operation was a success, adding, "Today it's important to hit and damage these objects." So Russia can't cover this up, they can't lie about it. The pictures and videos are all over the internet. I think the exact moment the cruise missile struck the dry dock is on camera. I'll link this video down below if you want to see it for yourself. And where this occurred, on Crimea, we can zoom into the port of Sevastopol. And this was Russia's main dry dock. This dry dock, located right here, is critical for maintenance of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. All ships eventually have to go into dry dock for routine maintenance to keep them functioning. And at the moment Ukraine struck it, it had a submarine and a landing ship getting their maintenance done, and everything was set on fire. So here's a satellite image of the before and after. This is what the dry dock looked like probably a couple days ago, and this was the day after the cruise missile strike. So here's kind of a GIF showing you an overlap, a before and after. This is the before. This is the after. Pretty devastating. And this morning, one of the Russians leaked a video showing how extensive the damage is to the landing ship. Now with the submarine, if you punch a hole in a submarine, it's no longer a submarine. It's a rock at the bottom of the ocean. And we don't have good video yet showing how bad the damage is, but a cruise missile did strike it. It was on fire. More than likely this submarine is a complete loss, and it would just be cheaper to build a brand new one. With the landing ship, this is interesting, because this is the second landing ship that Ukraine has destroyed in the last 2 months. Why is Ukraine focused on striking Russian landing ships? The ships are designed to save Russian logistics at the moment when Ukrainians are cutting all their rail lines through Tokmak. After that, the Russians plan to supply fuel to their military through the occupied areas in Zaporizhia. So what's going on is a boa constrictor move to just tighten Crimea, cut off their logistics and supply lines, and eventually starve the Russian military, especially of fuel and material on the peninsula. Make it basically impossible for Russia to continue operations as normal. So for those of you at home playing Russian Black Sea Fleet bingo, these are all of the ships and the submarine that the Ukrainians have now successfully destroyed. It's about 13% of their original Black Sea Fleet before the special limited military operation was launched. So how did Ukraine do it? And they did it with Western-supplied Storm Shadow and Scalp cruise missiles. Reporting from Ukraine broke down the details of this night attack 2 nights ago, and it started with drone boats. Drone boats coming from the Odessa region. This got the Russians' attention, got them distracted and worried about their ships in the Black Sea. Ukraine then launched a series of S-200 missiles. They're not very accurate, they're not very good, but they go the distance. And the purpose of these S-200s was to have Russia give away the location for their air defense systems. Once Russia engaged the S-200s with their launchers, Ukraine then launched HARM missiles. harm missiles seek out and destroy radar installations. So Ukraine, in the third wave of this night attack, went after Russian air defense systems. Once they got some successful hits, they then launched their Scalp and Storm Shadow cruise missiles at Sevastopol. The Russians are saying that a total of 10 were launched and they shot down 7. And even if the Russians are telling the truth, 3 successfully hit this dry dock, destroying this landing ship and a submarine. So yes, this was a very successful night for the Ukrainian military. This is what friend of the channel, General Ben Hodges, has to say. Raids on Crimea and oil and gas platforms to eliminate radar, then a complex drone and missile strike against Sevastopol. This is a very sophisticated approach to making Crimea untenable for the Russians. So we've seen a lot of parts in motion the last 2 months, especially building up to this attack on Sevastopol, retaking the oil and gas rigs, even the amphibious landings on the Crimean coastline, the destruction of these radar installations and the S-400 systems. Crimea is weakening. The Russians are losing their hold on the peninsula. And for the Black Sea Fleet, they can't stay there anymore. Ukraine just proved their air defense systems are not good enough to protect their nuclear submarine in dry dock in Sevastopol. So I'm sure in Moscow they're panicking and they've got to make a decision. Do they deny reality and continue keeping valuable military assets in Sevastopol, or do they just abandon the naval base and pull everything back to mainland Russia so they don't lose it? But the Russians are definitely innovative. They might come up with a solution. Here's one idea how Russia can protect their remaining nuclear submarines. The memes online have been pure gold. Let me share a couple with you. You lost a submarine in a 3-day land war against a country without a navy. I like this one. Somebody photoshopped Zelensky and Putin's face on the classic game Battleship. And there is a submarine piece in the game Battleship. I noticed this. Ukraine updated their tracker, and now we have a new category. Officially, 1 submarine has been destroyed. Who knows? Maybe Ukraine will get another one before Putin's special limited military operation is finally over. Here's the reaction from Darth Putin. This is a parody account. So Ukraine attacked Crimea, again, and we didn't nuke anyone, again. Elon was wrong, again. So I made that video 4 days ago talking about Elon Musk protecting Russia's Black Sea Fleet, and he's sticking to his story, his original arguments, that Ukraine should not be allowed to attack Sevastopol because Russia would respond with nuclear weapons and this would trigger World War III. Elon's wrong. He's been proven wrong. Western-donated weapons just destroyed a landing ship, a dry dock, and a submarine in Sevastopol, and Russia is not going to and cannot respond with nuclear weapons. So here's the meme. Elon Musk did his best to protect the Russian Black Sea Fleet, and Ukraine got it anyways. So here's an article from yesterday. Putin hails Elon Musk as an outstanding person and businessman. Russian President Putin on Tuesday hailed the South African-born businessman Elon Musk as an outstanding person. And let me just remind you, Putin is an internationally wanted war criminal by The Hague. So what is Elon's reaction to receiving praise from the Russians, praise from a genocidal dictator, Vladimir Putin, and a reporter with Sky News bumped into Elon and tried to ask him this question.
Has your ignorance and ego cost Ukrainian lives, sir? A Ukrainian official says that you have enabled Vladimir Putin as an aggressor. What do you say to that? Vladimir Putin cost Vladimir Putin calls you outstanding, Mr. Musk. Do you appreciate that? What would you call Vladimir Putin?
So this war has been going on for almost 600 days. Elon Musk has not said a single critical word of Russia or Vladimir Putin. He won't do it. He won't say a single negative thing about anything the Russians have done the last year and a half. So let's get a reaction from Shoigu, now that his navy is being destroyed in dry dock. What does Shoigu think about this?
Главная задача это выбивать технику. Победим. Главная задача это выбивать технику. Победим. Главная задача.
Body language does not lie, but let's be fair to Shoigu, the clip did cut him off. What does he eventually say after that shrug gesture? And this is his response to the question, will we win?
Это выбивать технику. Победим. У нас нет других вариантов.
We have no other options. It's not really a good response from your defense minister when this is a war of choice. Russia chose this war, and they now, a year and a half later, have reporters asking, will we win? And the defense minister just shrugs it off. So while Putin's Black Sea fleet was burning in harbor, he met up with Kim Jong-un. In my last video, I incorrectly assumed that Kim had took the train to Moscow, but Putin, being accommodating, flew to Vladivostok in order to meet Kim in eastern Russia. Kim Jong-un says Russia will win a great victory over their enemies. Here's the moments where the two dictators got to meet each other. So Putin and Kim decided to have a G2 summit because nobody else in the world wants anything to do with these two guys. Body language doesn't lie. If we go back in time a year and a half, this is the body language of the dictator Lukashenko towards Putin, and now that Russia's getting their asses kicked, this is the body language of Putin towards Kim Jong-un. And I'm not exaggerating this. When dictators get together, things get weird, and I'm pretty confident that Putin and Kim coordinated their platform shoes in order to be the exact same height. Both of these men are not very tall. They're very insecure about how short they are. There's nothing wrong with being short. President Zelensky is not a very tall man. But if you're confident and an effective leader, your height doesn't matter. But to insecure dictators like Kim and Putin, they frequently wear platform shoes to make themselves taller, and I think their handlers coordinated Putin's shoes in order to make Putin the exact same height as Kim. You didn't want one dictator making the other look small and ineffective. So on Kremlin State TV, they have to say nice things about North Korea because they're desperate for their military help. Let me read for you this insane clip on Kremlin State TV. So this man right here is speaking. Why are the North Korean economy and political system so successful? Because several leaders of the North Korean state in a row have been under no illusions about the West. Those several leaders is a chain of communist hereditary dictators. Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un. It's a hereditary dictatorship. But he continues. They know very well who they're dealing with and what their aims are. And that's why even the floor of his train is armored. Remember, Hollywood even made a film about killing the North Korean leader. It was a comedy. This man is referring to the 2014 film The Interview with Seth Rogen and James Franco, and Yes, they do kill Kim Jong-un in this movie. They find it funny, killing the leader of a state, a comedy. A comedy. North Korea is under no illusions at all. Their economy is developing, they have weaponry, there is stability within the country, they're fine. Having no illusions about those guys is very important for the success of a state. So let's talk about the North Korean economy and political system being so successful. This is what North Korea looks like from the International Space Station. Here's China all lit up with nighttime electricity and lighting. Here's South Korea. And this black hole between China and South Korea is North Korea. Probably it's estimated that 80 to 90% of the North Korean population doesn't have any electricity or running water. And even in the capital city of Pyoungyang, they frequently have blackouts. They can't even keep the electricity running in their capital city. One of my favorite facts about North Korea is Pyoungyang traffic girls. You can Google them. And because power in their capital city goes out so frequently, they have women in military uniforms at all the major intersections directing traffic. This is a tourist favorites if you can get a picture or video of them from a tour bus, but this is what the Pyoungyang traffic girls look like. And just a reminder, they have women standing in intersections in their capital because they can't keep the lights on. What else is going wrong for Russia? Russian warplane crashes during training flights. A Russian Su-24 bomber on Tuesday crashed in southern Russia during a training flight. So whether it was pilot incompetence, sabotage, or lack of maintenance, all of Russia's planes are still falling out of the sky. Oh, last night another Russian S-400 air defense system worth $1.2 billion was destroyed. This happened on the coastline in Crimea near Yevpatoria. So this is where this S-400 was located, and Ukraine successfully destroyed it last night. Russia also lost the villages of Klishivka and Andriivka. Ukraine's been battling for these two villages the last 2 months. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense waits 48 hours before releasing pictures and videos, but all the military bloggers are already reporting this. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense will release the videos probably in the next day. If we zoom in on the map, exactly where is this? Here's Bakhmut. The Russians, as of 3 months ago, were right here, closing in on the village of Chasiv Yar, and Ukraine has swung the momentum, going in the other direction. The goal, of course, is to encircle Bakhmut and turn it into a kill zone, as politically Russia will do anything to not lose this city. What else? Moscow court extends Russian warlord Gherkin's arrest until December. Gherkin's going to die in jail, but I do miss his pity parties on his live stream. European Parliament recognizes Lukashenko as an accomplice to Putin's crimes. Lukashenko is the most successful dictator in the history of Europe, having stayed in power in Belarus since 1994. His luck's going to run out. Putin screwed him over. He should be found as an accomplice to all of Putin's crimes. I don't think Lukashenko is going to survive this war once Putin's regime collapses. Let's get to the final feel-good videos. The first one is from the Superhumans Center. The Superhumans Project works with Ukrainian defenders to fit them with prosthetics and then help them with their rehabilitation. This video is of a challenging mountain hike designed by the first contact specialists. These hikes help patients conquer tough terrains, helping them prepare for discharge. They're looking good. Final clip I have for you. More and more Russian government agencies are cracking down on their employees, telling them they can't have any Apple products at work anymore. Because Apple is an American company, they're just trying to say you can't use products made by an American company. So here's a Russian woman deciding how she wants to get rid of her iPhone.
Айфоны они нам запретят. Нахер. Все равно я его прибью к двери.
As an American, I'm devastated she doesn't want to use her iPhone anymore. It was probably stolen from Ukraine anyways. That's all for this update video. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. If you found this video informative, give me a thumbs up. Best way to support the channel. Comments and questions, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. Till the next video, keep defending the truth, keep defending democracy.